Alright guys, it's Slnci here, and I want to discuss the new screens that were released by Kotaku of Assassin's Creed 5 leaked gameplay for the PS4, Xbox One and PC. I actually released a video, actually like 2 minutes ago literally, with all the screens, but now I want to do an in-depth analysis of all the screens put together, right? So let's get started. Okay, so when I look at the first screen here, there isn't really much to see. We've got the Assassin's Creed logo, and it says Assassin's Creed Unity. Unity is the code name, or could actually be the game for the name for the game, but we actually don't know that. But the thing that kind of caught my eye was the fact that the Assassin logo kind of seems to be split or broken, which kind of means that could this game be based on the fall of the Brotherhood? We haven't really seen this happen in any game where the Brotherhood kind of comes out at the end, but maybe we see a broken Brotherhood of assassins where none of them agrees, and it's up to this character, I think she's a female character actually, to rebuild the Brotherhood back to its former glory. We've seen, well, like it was kind of that same story in Brotherhood, but the Brotherhood was never broken, it was just kind of split up, and it kind of needed to get rid of oppression. But this game, or the logo of the Assassin's Creed is just it's split, which I think it just means that it's broken and it needs to be rebuilt, and you know, on the run basically, as in the other games it's actually the Templars that are on the run from the assassins. When we look at the second image here, the thing that really catches my eye is how good this game looks, and it's not even actually the final game. It's only a kind of gives you an idea, like it's not a final representation of the game. But the thing that really caught my eye was the fact that how good the draw distance is. Like with Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 4 on the Xbox 360, things were just blatantly popping right in front of you. Guards right in front of you, people right in front of you. But here there seems to be a lot more detail. Like you can see the windows and the columns and the roof shingles and all that really clearly, and especially on the kind of in front of you buildings, it just looks really good. And the character seems to look very, you know, kind of feminine. Her stance, her clothing, it just, and kind of her height. I'm not trying to be sexist around like here, but just the kind of the build of the character, it just kind of seems to show a female protagonist in the mix. And what also really caught my eye was the NPCs. Those people look so detailed for even not even the last game that's, you know, for, you know, a game that's not even finished. Like they look really good. There's a lot of detail, and when you kind of look around, their clothes kind of seem to be accurately, you know, from a picture, they seem to be accurately reacting to wind, movement, and it's all very interesting. I cannot wait to see a demo or a gameplay trailer showing all this kind of attention to detail in action. When looking at this third screen, we can kind of see how the city looks from a distance, like how good the draw distance is. Again, like I said, buildings from kind of far away can be really seen really well. Kind of far as my eye would be able to see something, even though my eyesight isn't exactly amazing. You can kind of still see how the building shape and all that look. And the River Seine is just to the left of the picture. That's what I'm presuming that this is Paris. Because that's where the revolution kind of took place around that time, you know, the 18th century, and I'm going to guess that this is the Seine River. There's 36 bridges today that crosses this in modern times, so maybe we'll see 2 or 3 bridges to cross every direction. I wouldn't say there'd be 36 back then, but you know, maybe at least 5 or 6 to, like I said, to get across the way. We see that houses are very well designed, like, you know, very posh, and you can kind of see where the kind of ghettos that there is, where people that live on the river kind of they seem to live in kind of not great houses, but on the other side of the river, you know, where things are kind of far away from the peasants as the rulers would have seen them. The houses are very elegant with a lot of kind of pottery and kind of, I don't know, kind of fancy fences and grounds, like a lot of grass and fountains and everything. I just think it's really well designed and really well thought out. Just another thing I want to point out is that this is when we actually see the character in motion. It looks like that she walks kind of feminine, like, you know, the other characters, they kind of seem to walk like, you know, tough men, you know, their arms out, and they, you know, they look like they're ready to get into a fight. She kind of seems to walk kind of like a lady, I guess you could say, you know, arms move kind of in one motion, you know, and then your legs move, you know, it's kind of another show of Ubisoft's typical attention to detail, which I think is really cool as well. when I look at the fourth screen here, I notice that they're still in that kind of fancy house that with the kind of big buildings and all that kind of stuff. I notice that here is a carriage, which would have indicated a posh person. Maybe this actually could be her house, kind of like you know Ezio's house in Assassin's Creed 2, where you had what was his dad's name? Giovanni. His house was very elegant like this. It didn't have a carriage or anything like that, but he was a banker. He was very rich. He was a nobleman, and I reckon that if you look just to the right of this new protagonist, we see that he there's a door. So I reckon that this could be the main character's house, and there's a door that's opened, and there's also a window that's opened. So that I wouldn't say they're on a mission, because if you look just to the left of the carriage, it shows that there's a mission marker. So this, I don't think this is a mission, but I reckon that we could be able to go into a lot more houses, or maybe this is just the person's hideout. Also, this is the first close-up screen we get of the person from behind. This person is carrying a big gun, like a big gun for its time. There's a little pouch here, and the I don't know how to explain it. The outfit is very similar to the one that we've seen in the poster, just in the stairs going down to Ubisoft Montreal, the main studio that develops Assassin's Creed. So I think this does match up very well. The kind of gloves, the jacket. I think that's a pretty legitimate picture that we got off the internet. On the fifth screen, it seems that we're still in this kind of palace place, but there isn't really much to see here. We just get another really good glimpse of the draw distance. Maybe might have god rays, or maybe we had them in AC4. Maybe especially when you're kind of on the ship. I seen it in the trailer when the kind of sails, they kind of move around. God rays there, and we also had lens flare. I kind of hope that's returning to the game, because it kind of gives you a sense of that sun is really bright, instead of just having the sun really instead of having a part of the sky just light up like mad. Seeing that there's nothing really much to see here, apart from the same kind of, I don't know, just the draw distance. I kind of want to go over the HUD. The HUD seems to be a mix of Assassin's Creed 3 and older Assassin's Creeds, seeing that Jade Raymond is making this one. She worked on AC1 and AC2, so that basically does mean that we're going to get a touch of the older games mixed in with the new games, which I think is absolutely fantastic, because a lot of the old AC1 2 Brotherhood fans are really missing that old spice and touch that we had before. When you look at the top left, we see the health bar, and that looks an awful lot like AC1/AC4's. And then when you look at the X, Y, A, B buttons, we have draw weapon, and all these buttons here, they look like Assassin's Creed 1's, kind of clear, see-through, and the kind of the black border around the weapon looks like the subtitle, kind of like around the button indications. It looks like the border and the subtitles in Assassin's Creed 2. The mission marker in the bottom left in the corner looks an awful lot like Assassin's Creed 3 mission marker, where it kind of told you where you had to go. And then the mini map, it seems that this person is not synchronized with the map, because there would be something here to indicate that maybe the fountain was there, or maybe there was a staircase there, or the building was there. So this particular character that was playing this game hasn't actually synchronized yet. Just to the right of the mini map, there's a assassin logo, and it kind of seems to be in kind of like a rhombus kind of shape. So what that basically tells me is that this person is incognito, and then it might go to the one, they're aware of your presence, 2, they're looking for you, and 3, they bring in the Jaggers that were like in Assassin's Creed 3, where they brought in the German French soldiers to take care of the troublemaker. But I don't think they would bring in Jaggers or anything like that. I think they'd be bringing like elite guards or something like that. When you look to the bottom right hand of it, we see a sword, but only one sword. And when you look at the screens before, all it had was one sword. So I think this whole dual wielding option is going to be going away in favor of a new combat system, which I think is a good thing. I liked it in AC3. It was okay in AC4, because in AC4, even though it was a lot more responsive, I don't know, it just kind of felt really weird with the two swords. He just kind of seemed to cut people down. But with AC3, your man Connor, he just seemed to absolutely rip through people. I loved that kind of brutal combat, and I hope that brutal combat does return to AC5, but maybe in a revised way, that it isn't just a counter spam operation. In the final screenshot that got released, we get another look at how good the draw distance is, the cathedrals, because France was quite a religious country back then, and it isn't really today. Kind of, there's quite a lot of secularists out there that don't particularly want to see religion displayed everywhere. But there's a really nice shot of the cathedrals, and and judging by the kind of just over the new character's head, we can kind of see that there will be god rays and lens flare, because it kind of seems to brighten up a lot when you look at it. The shadows look a lot better, because in AC4 and AC3 they kind of went with this kind of sponge feeling where, I don't know, it was kind of dotted. It looked kind of weird, but the shadows look really good. And I commented on the one sword kind of system, kind of getting rid of that dual wielding system. Even though I really liked the dual wielding idea from the games, I don't think it was portrayed very well in AC3 and AC4. Like I said, the health bars like AC1 and AC4's, the HUD, the kind of the top part is like the older games, the bottom part is like the new games, with the notoriety system, the mini marker and the mini map. Like I said, this person obviously hasn't synchronized yet, because we would have seen maybe the fence, like I said, or in the fountain in the last screenshot. But the new BA is very interesting. It says parkour down for B and parkour up. I doubt that'll be a crouch button, because parkour is actually when you move around and you climb stuff. But you know, it could be, or we could be seeing maybe the parkour button on the right analog stick, or the right stick as it is for Xbox. Parkour up, I think, could be going back to the old system where you have to press right trigger and A to climb up something. You know, right trigger you just kind of jog, and then A you actually climb up something, because I noticed with the, like I said, AC3 and AC4, you just kind of seem to grab onto anything that was there. That was approved in AC4, but it's still a little bit annoying. It's just kind of nice to have that puppeteering system back, where Y controls your head, like head movements like eagle vision. Even though it's not there, it could still be there. X, draw your weapon like into your right hand. B would be kind of controlling your left hand or something else, and A controls your legs. I just really like that concept. It's actually really well thought out, and like I said, it's Jade Raymond that's working on this game, so obviously it's going to be that puppeteering system from my idea. But if we do get a crouch button with the parkour down, which I highly doubt, because I don't think moving slowly has got anything to do with running fast in parkour. I think it would be really handy, but maybe we could just get a cover system, like maybe if you go beside a wall, you press A, you go into cover, and you kind of move around it, kind of like in Batman Arkham Origins, or like in Grand Theft Auto 5. So this has been my in-depth analysis of all the screenshots. Comment, rate, subscribe. I'll put a lot of work into this video trying to get it out. Like 2 videos in one day is pretty impressive by my standards. So this is officially your best source for Assassin's Creed 5 news, and